say that is there a lot of flexibility in teachers' ability to meet this curriculum, or they kind of have to stay right onto the book?
I think the government provide us the standards and the criteria.
Right.
When the curriculum is developed in standard and criteria, books are resources.
Right.
Then the teacher could select the chapters and the book to meet the standard and the criteria. I feel that that's the flexibility that we could have.
Mm-hmm. And how about students, special education students? How is this, maybe you don't accept special education students, I'm not sure how your school works, but are there schools for kids with special needs here in Thailand, or they kind of have to just stay at home?
No. They are school for special kids.
Yeah.
We call special education. Some of them are gifted, some of them are special, but there are some schools that handle only special educations.
Mm-hmm.
In our school, we have a program to help kids with special needs.
Mm-hmm.
So we organize a department where the kids, if the doctors say that these particular students are special, they have LD, they have autism,
right,
whatever it is, then we have these projects that the kids will be pulled out at certain period to have spatial learning, because these kids are good, but they have a different ways of learning.
Mm-hmm.
So we provide a different methods in teaching so that these kids will be able to cope with the happening of the learning. And we also have school psychologists who will help the kids to adjust both physically, emotionally, and academically.
Okay. How many days a year do the kids go to school at your school? And is it the same amount of days as the kids do in the public school?
Can I go by week? It's about the
week.
same. Per semester we have about almost 16 weeks. 16
weeks
per semester.
And you have 2 semesters, or?
Yes.
So that's 16, it's about 37 weeks a year.
Yeah.
Is that the same as the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And PLC time, do the teachers, are you familiar with that term, with PLC? Well, let's just say it's the ability for teachers to work collaboratively together in terms of common planning and that sort of thing. How much time do your teachers actually work together a week, where they come together, say as a math department, and do kind of common planning and that sort of thing? Or is that not?
I think we make that, in our structure we have head of department, and the head of department will look after their own department, so they make their own time to meet and to work among themselves. So we didn't set a fixed time for every department that you have to meet at this time, this week, at this amount. No, we didn't put it that way. But somehow every head department will monitor and will work with their own team, where they can set the time together to discuss the issues, the curriculum, and the planning.
Now, I know you said the kids go to school about 37 weeks a year, but do the teachers work more than the kids going to school? How much time do the teachers have to do? How many weeks?
I would say that, for example, if it's the first semester, the teacher will continue to work for another 2 weeks.
Oh, after the
kids end their final exam.
On each semester.
Yeah, and about the end of the year, they may end up working maybe between 2 to 3 weeks after the kids have finished the exam, because they have to get things ready. And then when we have 2 months break for summer, the teachers will have to come back 3 weeks before school begins to get things ready.
Okay. 2 more questions, I promise I'll let you go. Discipline problems. How are discipline problems handled? It's a huge problem everywhere, but well, where I work it's a big problem. But how do you handle these things? Can you suspend kids? Maybe it's not a huge problem for your school because your private people are paying. But how are these issues? Can you just suspend a school and suspend a kid and say, no, you can't come back here if there's chronic problems? What do you do as a principal?
Actually, we have different policies for different levels of discipline problems. Normally what we try to do, the best we can do is to try to change them. We'll put them into community work, we put them to do things together. So finally, if they really can't, we may suspend them for a little while to
Right.
make sure that they always, we want them to learn that there's always consequences to what they have done.
Mhm.
So we are trying to do in every measurement to make sure that there are consequences and then let them do. At the final ends, they may ask them to, okay, you'll be suspended for this certain amount of time and come back and take exam or whatever it is. But we do have some suspension of the kids.
What about corporal punishment? Can you hit the kids?
No, we don't do that.
You
Yes.
don't allow that?
Yeah, we
Okay.
don't. We still want the kids to learn to pick up their responsibility without being harassed.
Yes, I understand. Well, thank you very much. I know you
Yes.
have to get on to another meeting, but thank you so much for
Thank
the
you.
time
I
that
hope
you
that's
spent here and allowed me
helpful.
to see your school.
Okay. You can continue on to
Yes.
use my office.
Oh, no, that's okay.